dear friends, I'm tasked with again talking about God's love. Well, after all, that's how we thrive. That's what gives meaning to our lives, right? If God did not love us, He would not be here. So I try to talk about God's love in a deeper level, how much He loves us. And it's just that we are too proud or too self-entitled to recognize that love. So hopefully, in my sharing today, we will see how much God loves us. So what I'm trying to say is, if we look at our personal history, we can see how God has taken care of everything. God provides for everything so that our lives will move on as it should. So first, I'd like to start with my vocation story. As I share it, I hope you will see how God is so loving. Well, it's in my life, but you will have, of course, opportunities to do that yourself as you review your own lives later. All right? So first, I'll begin with my history. Well, how did I end up with the priesthood, in the first place? First, again, I can see the hand of God, His providence, which is an expression of His love in how my parents met. My dad is from the south, from Iloilo, Molo, Iloilo, and my mother is from the north, that's from Luzon. And it's really strange how they met. You would not have expected this. So mom's in Luzon, dad's in Visayas. How did they meet? Would you believe? Through a party. The party went like this. You see, my mother's aunt, in other words, this aunt is the sister of my mom's mom. My mother's aunt is the wife of a former Filipino president who died in a plane crash. And so I will not tell you who, but that's trivia. Bahala na kayo. There's only one president naman in our history who died in a plane crash. So my mom's aunt, she was a widow by then. Since she was the widow of the former president who was beloved by his people, she gets invited to all these events, all over the country. Well, this time she got invited to Bacolod in Negros Occidental. And that's it. She has 3 kids, but none of them could accompany her. So what does an aunt do? She goes to her nephews and nieces. So here comes my mom, single, coming home. And when she arrives home, her dad tells her all of a sudden, pack your bags. You're going with your aunt to Bacolod. And my mom is shocked. She doesn't know what to do but obey her dad, my lolo. And as she's packing, my lola tells me, her mom tells me, she's recalling the story to me. She tells me, when your mom was packing, when my mother was packing, galit na galit. Because she was saying, my dad, he's not even asking me if I have plans for the weekend. He just tells me to do this, to accompany my tita to Bacolod. Ano ba yan? What can I do? And of course, what could my lola say? Nothing, Of course, she could not undo what her husband did, my lolo did. Galit na, nainis yung mother ko. But then, 3 days after my mom came back, so she went to Bacolod, then 3 days after came back. When my lola saw her, my mom she was so happy. And my lola asked her, "Anong problema mo? Why do you look so happy? Kala ko galit na galit ka, you had to go to Bacolod." Then my mom told her she met my dad. So you see, what are the chances of them meeting, And believe it or not, 9 months after, they got married. And they just celebrated their 60 years of marriage last December. We were in Vietnam. So that's that's why I'm so filled with gratitude that God is so loving, because it was while we were in Vietnam that the pandemic was already percolating, happening, di ba? So I feel deep in my heart the Lord allowed my family to celebrate our my parents' 60th wedding anniversary in Vietnam. Kompleto ha, all of us. From my 2 parents, of course, my 6 siblings, their spouses, and my nephews and nieces. Kompleto kami. So, all I can say is, thanks be to God. That's how loving God is. But the story continues, no? So, when my parents got married, my mom left Manila, went to Bacolod. Then when they got married, sunod-sunod, 1960, 61, 62, she would get pregnant and deliver a child. So by the time it was the 3rd, umiiyak na siya. She told my dad, ayoko na. Time out, moratorium. So they stopped having kids. Then when the youngest one, born 1962, was already about 5 years old, their 3 kids went to my parents and said, we want a cute little brother. They want a cute little brother. Did I say I'm a cute little brother? I just said they wanted a brother. O sige, I'm just their brother. Okay? So they were asking for a brother. And guess who? No? Again, God's love. And after me, 2 more younger sisters who are really blessings, no, for my parents. Of course, all 6 of us. Then when I was growing up, I was a spoiled brat. Well, not that bratty, but I was the favorite of my lola, my dad's mother, and my dad's sister. So they would spoil me. But then again, what happened? They died early when I was 6 and 7 years old. And that has a relation to my vocation, because I think if I continue to be spoiled by them, of course they don't want to destroy me, but they were spoiling me. If I grew up spoiled, I don't think I would have ended up with a priesthood. But they died early, and because of that, death had an impact on me even when I was 6 or 7 years old. I realized that death is not only harsh, but it is a reality we have to live with. I mean, can you imagine when my dad's mom died? That was the first time I saw my dad cry. And you know, my dad, I look up to him. I see him as, you know, a pillar of strength. My dad can do no wrong. And then all of a sudden, I see him crying. Then, hardly had he recovered from the death of his mother in 1975. The following year, 76, his sister, my tita, passed away naman. So, you know, double trauma. Then I'd like to talk about the faith of my parents. I would say my dad his faith is like pre-Vatican II, before Vatican II, and my mother's faith is post-Vatican II. So when I say that, I mean, like, for example, pre-Vatican II, my dad is Católico Cerrado, and you know, he really focuses on the masses, the novenas, the rosarios, you know, all those things. No? Then my mother naman is post-Vatican II. So for her, the most important thing is one's personal relationship with God. Of course, she believes in the masses, the novenas, the rosarios, but for her, those are only secondary. Those things only help you build a personal relationship with God. In fact, my mother would say, I would rather be a Protestant whose faith is alive than a Catholic whose faith is dead, patay. So what is she trying to say there? One's personal relationship with God is important. Why? Because we can look at religion as merely fulfilling requirements. Basta makasimba, basta makarosaryo, basta maka-novena, but no personal relationship with God. What is that? I thought relationships are between people. Can you have a personal relationship with the Mass? Can you have a personal relationship with a rosary, praying the rosary, or a novena? No. You pray these things to help us grow closer to the Lord. And that's what my mother tried to show. And that's why I had a combination of my dad's faith and my mom's faith. And again, by the grace of God, I did well in my studies. When I graduated from grade school, I graduated valedictorian again, but I was blessed by God to remain humble. Why? It did not make my head big. It made me, all I knew was that I knew my classmates, I had classmates who were smarter than I, pero tamad. Kaya, I got the higher grades kasi sila tamad. Yan lang. That's the only reason. Then, I went to high school again for the same reason. The classmates who were smarter than me were tamad. So, ako naman, I knew it would make my parents happy, so I graduated class valedictorian again. And then, so I went into college wanting to go into medicine. And for me, it was UP. And if I did not get accepted to UP, I would apply to UST. But as I was preparing to apply to UST, thanks be to God, I got news that I passed UP, so I did not apply anymore to UST. So again, I graduated from college, BS Zoology from UP Diliman, cum laude. Again, I can say that without being mayabang because I know all of these are gifts from God. Without God's grace, without giving me the gift of IQ, I didn't say it's superior, but I said the IQ is enough. Without God giving me good health, without God giving me the grace of proper motivation, I would not have graduated cum laude, and my chances to enter UPPGH would have been less. And I did regular things. Yeah, I joined a fraternity. Yes, I even experienced hazing. Yes, I did. And thanks be to God again, I'm here. I survived it. I had girlfriends in med school. Yeah, girlfriends, but I assure you, not at the same time, hindi sabay-sabay, no? One at a time, no? Because I'm a one-women man. Joke. So I did the regular things, no? But, you know these things. Deep in my heart, when I was in my third year of med school, I already felt that I did not belong. Parang I felt I was in the wrong course. So I wanted to leave. So I was already asking advice from this Redemptorist priest and this Franciscan Madre, and both of them had the same opinion. They advised me not to change horses midstream. In other words, they don't want me to quit. They said, finish your course first, then if you want something else, go somewhere else. But finish your med course. So that's what I tried to do. And after I finished my med course, okay, wala nang honors, no? I'm just happy I passed med school. I was thinking of religious life, but honestly, who wants to become a priest? Diba? I cannot get married. I cannot have a girlfriend. I cannot have a family. So who wants to become a priest? So I said, I will continue with my medicine. So I went to residency. And because I did not really believe in what I was doing, I got a burnout in med school, in residency. How did this happen? Well, I said I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to serve mankind. But what happened was that, remember, I was a resident in PGH. And when you're in PGH, the patients there are so many. Puro mahihirap, daghan. And there's so many. Walang katapusan. And because of that, so many cases, I got into a burnout. And the sad thing, I will admit to you, I no longer saw those people, those patients as people. I just saw them as case problems, problem cases. You know, parang puro mga kaso that have to be solved. So I did not see them as people anymore. So it was like, if that's the case, then what's the difference? It was like I was working in a garage, di ba? Working with objects, not people. So I got into this burnout, and I ran back to the Franciscan nun. I was telling her that because she was the one encouraging me to finish my medicine, I went back to her hoping she would encourage me to finish medicine, to finish my residency. So I went to her expecting her to, give me strength, give me hope, to inspire me. But to my surprise, she reached for the telephone. And what did she do? She called up the Jesuits. And that's how I ended up with the Jesuits, to make the long story short. But before I entered the Jesuits, I had to join a discernment program of the Jesuits. You know naman the Jesuits, di ba? They ask you to discern. They will not ask you to join right away, because they want you to see if that is God's plan for you. And it was with the Jesuits that I got my conversion experience. Let me explain. So after I joined the Jesuits, thinking of becoming a priest, I lived with the Jesuits in their pre-novitiate. It's a discernment house with other young men also considering whether or not they want to join the priesthood. So here's what happened. One early morning during daily Mass, the scriptural passage was Luke chapter 5, verse 1 to 11. And that passage was about Peter fishing all night. Peter, the professional fisherman, fishing all night and catching nothing. And here comes Jesus. Is he a fisherman? Duh, he's the son of a carpenter. So he tells Peter, did you catch anything? Peter says, no. Then Jesus, the carpenter, tells Peter, the fisherman, all right, let's go out again. We'll go fishing again. And Peter obeys. And Jesus tells Peter, cast your net into the water. And Peter obeys. And lo and behold, what happened? The catch is so great. Remember, after Peter, the professional fisherman, caught nothing. But with Jesus, he caught so much fish that 2 boats were in danger of sinking because of the weight of the fish, the catch. And when Peter saw this, he fell on his knees because he realized he was before a holy man. And he told Jesus, Lord, stay away from me because I am a sinful man. Do not have anything to do with me. Stay away, you are holy, mabait ka. Stay away from me. And what did Jesus reply? Do not be afraid. Follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men. So here are some reflection points or prayer points that I hope will help you in your recollection. The first point is if you can prayerfully go over your vocation story. So I ask you to do this prayerfully when you review when I say vocation story, look at your life. No? How did you, from the beginning, how did you end up in this medical field? No? So review it and don't rush, because rushing is always the enemy of a good prayer. You know, we always rush to do things. Like, you notice there's a difference when you study your lessons with enough time versus cramming, diba? So it doesn't help also that when we pray, we're cramming. We have a cramming attitude. Okay? So how did you end up? So first, your life story, no? Again, how God prepared everything, getting you born into this particular family, having these particular parents, these particular siblings. You know, why did God give your parents a successful negosyo or successful way of living, di ba? Why did God give that? Again, that's from God. I'm not pulling your leg. Why did God give that to you or to me? Di ba? Again, don't forget, we had the same chances of getting born in a squatter area or maybe even in a dumping site. No? So how did you end up with your family? Then how did the events of your life, through God's grace, through God's guidance, you end up choosing medicine as a vocation? No? And then when you chose this vocation, what gives meaning and purpose to it? What drives you? What keeps you going? Because that is the one that will carry you through, especially when trials are there, the going gets tough, di ba? It's your motivation that will carry you. So what gives meaning, what gives purpose, what motivates you to pursue this medical field? So second, at the most difficult experiences of your medical studies training, where did you find grit, strength, and perseverance? Also related to number one, no? What motivates you to keep on going? But I want you to focus on this question. Well, you can treat this as a separate question which you will dwell on alone. No? What is your spirituality? And rest assured, spirituality is not just about things up there or things away from the world. I'd like to give you this definition of spirituality, which I hope will make sense to you. Spirituality can be defined as determining what is one's greatest value in life and therefore living one's life according to it. So, what does that mean? First, to develop a spirituality, you have to determine what is the most important thing in life for you. Thank you.